Hey there, good morning. This is Pastor Dan of First Lions Church, and it's good to be with you. I'm standing here outside of the church underneath some trees, and it's good to be in the shade today. One of the things I've noticed here lately is life is kind of hard. Life is complicated, life is challenging, and sometimes life feels upside down. Oh my word, yes it does. And you wish it was right side up. Okay, well, I won't do that ever again. But, sometimes God has to knock us down to get our attention. I don't like it when it happens. I don't enjoy it. It's not pleasant. But one of the things I notice as I think about the stories in the scripture is God often brings people to places of humility before he brings people to places of success. I think some of it is because he knows that if he doesn't humble us, we will be arrogant, stinky-minded, stinky-hearted, pompous, well, maybe not you, but me. And he has to humble us to get our attention. And that's what happened to Paul. We're going to be in Acts chapter 9 this coming Sunday. And the question is, what does it take for God to get your attention? Is it easy for God to get your attention? Is it easy for him to talk to you about stuff in your life? Is he easy? Does he have to knock you off your horse and blind you and send you into the city to wait for 3 days for somebody named Ananias to come and find you? And Ananias doesn't even want to come see you because you're so hard-hearted? Okay, that was just Paul's story. But seriously, sometimes God gets our attention through the things that we think are terrible. And they are terrible. But sometimes what happens to us is really good. And if we can just be patient and lean into the Lord and trust that he's got our best at heart, because his character is filled with compassion and affection and love. He does not have an interest in just being unkind and unmerciful and unjust. He always knows what's best. And some of the stuff, when he gives us freedom, people choose stuff, and some of the choices we choose are terrible. They're terrible to other people. They're bad things that happen to us. Some of our addictions we get ourselves into. And yet God mercifully opens his arms and says, if you'll come to me and seek me with your heart, I'll find you. And often he's sending people to find you even before you've started looking. He's bringing circumstances to bear even before you've gotten started, because he loves you that much. This week I had a conversation with a fellow who's going through a crisis in his home. Sometimes I don't know what to say about stuff like that, but I do believe God is with us when we suffer. Sometimes people talking about things that go wrong in their lives. All I can do is say, I don't understand, but God is with us when we suffer. I know in my story, often God is trying to get my attention. What's it going to take to get your attention? How does he have to bounce you around before you start listening? Come see us on Sunday. We'll be here at First Lions Church on Buffalo Road here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And we will be talking about Saul, who became Paul, who was one of the major characters, but it all started when he was blinded and knocked off his horse by a light, and Jesus spoke to him. And maybe Jesus is trying to speak to you. This is Pastor Dan, First Lions Church. First Lions Church is a great place to be.